welcome to NewsClick. Pakistan appears to be in turmoil once again on several fronts. To discuss these, we have with us today Professor Aijaz Ahmad, well-known political commentator and who frequently appears on our program. Welcome, Aijaz.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
If that's news, Pakistan is in turmoil.
It has been for a while.
That's right. What with the attacks on political leaders who have expressed opinions against the anti-blasphemy laws and various other developments. How do you see the developments regarding the assassination of Bhatti and now the threats against various political leaders in Pakistan?
Well, one thing that strikes me in these two assassinations, actually, both of Salman Taseer, who was the governor of Punjab, and Minister Bhatti, is that in both cases it's very unclear what role the security apparatus played in this. Salman Taseer, we know that the person who assassinated him had been dismissed from the service in the past because of suspicions about his character and his affiliations, was brought back into it and made a part of the detail for the governor. Who arranged that, why he was brought back and so on, we don't know. And the next thing we know, he shot Salman Taseer and became a hero. When he shot Salman Taseer, the other members of that detail did not move to do anything about it. In Bhatti's case, what's very important is that it was very clear for a while that he was targeted. He had asked for and was supposedly given extra security. But in the capital, when he goes to visit his parents and he comes out of the house, that extra security is not there. Basically, hardly any security is there. There are 3 people standing there. They open fire, they shoot Bhatti. So, very alarming aspect of it is the extent to which the security forces, or at least some wing of it, seems to be implicated in both instances. The person who assassinated Salman Taseer comes in and out. Number of policemen are known to openly admire him as a hero and so on and so forth. Nothing happens. When people go to the Supreme Court and the judiciary in general to ask them to take note of all of this and do something about it, the judiciary doesn't move. So there seems to be partly complicity, partly inertia, shall we say, to use rather a polite word for what's going on the part of various institutions of the state. So there is really a sort of a breakdown of its state institutions or complicity with this sort of thing in the state institutions.
Right. Some commentators would say this is not too surprising, since the penetration of security agencies with these kinds of values is something that has been suspected for some time. So maybe penetration of state institutions or the corruption in state institutions may not come as too much of a surprise. But I think what has certainly surprised people has been reaction even from what people thought would have been liberal sections of civil society. The lawyers, for example, who were cheering the assassin of Salman Taseer. Is that not a matter of concern that's now emerging?
Well, the lawyers as an entity, I don't know, but I know that lots of lawyers are Jamaat-e-Islami people and various sorts of Islamicist affiliations they have in the legal profession in Pakistan, and that is the section which is cheering on. But I wanted to say something else. The great objection against Pervez Musharraf used to be that the military, the security apparatus are in charge, so on and so forth, when the civil so-called democratic government would come, etc. What you have found under the PPP under Zardari's rule is that, in fact, these very forces are acting in a way that they never could under Pervez Musharraf. Pervez Musharraf actually sent army against that famous madrasa in
So
Islamabad.
you would say the security agencies are even less
Not only that, these are high-profile officials of the PPP government, and you don't get condolence messages from other ministers. Gilani, the Prime Minister, stands out by going to the funeral of Mr. Bhatti. Mr. Zardari, the rest of them, the ministers. So it's not just the security apparatus. No. It's the collusion seems to be of a nature that is very difficult to pinpoint.
So would you say that the liberal intelligentsia and other liberal sections of Pakistani society are today even more isolated and are getting smaller today than they were earlier?
Well, they're very much on the defensive, broadly speaking. The secular space in Pakistan is now very, very contracted. And the few people who speak to this day and who publicly take positions or appear on funerals of this kind appear to be heroic because they can all be targeted. And who is targeting them is still very unclear.
Moving on to another subject which has grabbed the headlines recently, is the murky affair of the US diplomat, civil servant, security man, whatever, Davis, who has been arrested and is now this whole case that is going on. How do you see that and how do you see it unfolding?
Well, it's bizarre. President Obama himself got up and called him a diplomat, said he must have immunity, etc., etc. 4 days later, the Washington Post tells us that he's a CIA agent. If the President of the United States doesn't know who he is before opening his mouth, so that was just bullying, pure bullying. So that he is a deep undercover agent of some sort it appears to me absolutely beyond doubt. And major newspapers, Guardian, Washington Post, which is to the right of New York Times, if it's at all possible, people like that have confirmed that's what he is. There appears to be a turf war between ISI and CIA. What his mission was, what he was going to do, we don't know. ISI, I'm sure, knows where he was going. The suggestion is that he was going on some mission to help assist the Pakistani Taliban. That is one suggestion that has come. Underneath that being the suggestion that the Pakistani Taliban themselves are in some way connected with the CIA. The story, I think, has come from the ISI. What the turf war is, we don't know. We know that a civil court in the United States, had wanted the head of the ISI to appear there, to subpoena him for appearance there.
Is there an effort now to play this off against that?
This may well be a way of saying, let's play then. We can, if you want to play, we are ready to play. It may be that sort of thing. So we don't know.
And what does this tell us about the state of play in the relations between Pakistan and the United States?
Look, Pakistani state, I think, has been very, very smart in all of this. I mean, they have ruined their country in playing this game. But playing this double game with the Americans, taking their money, periodically handing over an Al-Qaeda person or this person or that person that they have fallen out with or something, and keeping up the appearance that they're doing that, they play this game. They allow, fully collaborate in the whole of the these drone campaigns and so on. So they play this double game. But ISI has always insisted on having as much autonomy against both their own military headquarters as well as the CIA. And it's part of that ISI wanting their own autonomy that a little bit of it has sort of surfaced.
And the Americans are still playing the old card of linking the Davis issue with further aid. But as we know, in the past, the Americans have never gone through with the threat to cut off aid. And the Pakistanis have played to that. Do you see this unfolding the same way?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think. But I think on that level, the Pakistanis have Americans on the bat.